Hello, welcome to MDN Multidimensional News. I'm Tiberius Kimball, here to provide you on all the news you missed last week in an easy, digestible format. Our big story today is the appearance of a miniature black hole outside of Timbuktu. Wakandan Princess Shuri evacuated the city by sending out warnings through radio and light signals, and by hacking into watches, oddly enough. Iron Man and Shuri were seen analyzing the situation by the Malian military. They were disrupted by Moses Magnum, a terrorist with seismic abilities. Luckily, they were able to shrink down the black hole by weakening its singularity with a basic particle accelerator. The question everyone is asking, will Shuri also don the Black Panther identity like her brother? Stay tuned with MDN for all your Wakanda updates. Next up is the story of a violent mutant breakout at an Office of National Emergency base led by none other than previously assumed deceased Cyclops and Wolverine. The two alumni of the Xavier Institute killed dozens of hard-working One agents. In the process, they broke out Cyclops' brother, Alex Summers, the Russian witch, Ilana Rasputin, Irish werewolf, Rain Sinclair, and duplicates of the mischievous Jamie Madrox. Just when America thought they could be safe from the mutant threat, this dangerous group is free on our streets once again. A frightening piece of propaganda appeared in MDN's offices this last week. We received a DVD of an action movie starring the presumed-to-be deceased X-Man, Nightcrawler. The trailers before the feature imply that Kurt Wagner is a blockbuster of an actor in whatever dimension this tape appears from. It's nearly impossible to imagine a world where a blue devil like that could ever be considered a movie star. As you probably have noticed, night is still upon the world, with no sign of the sun ascending. You may recall when Earth was removed from its place in the solar system nearly a year and a half ago. Interviews with expert Greek mythologists worry this may have freed goddess of the night Nyx, who was imprisoned by Zeus. Experts say her freedom would only come when the sun was parted from the earth. Currently, it's the best going theory we have. At the moment night fell, portals opened around the world with heroes like Voyager, Hercules, Rocket Raccoon, Vision, Spectrum, Hulk, Scarlet Witch, and the always lucky Hawkeye off to solve the crisis. We hope. Meanwhile, the rest of Earth's mightiest heroes continue to fight to quell the vampire civil war. A figure resembling an enlarged Ghost Rider was seen fleeing the Avengers' Arctic base inside of a giant dead Celestial. The Shadow Colonel and his band of vampire warriors, the Legion of the Unliving, were seen fleeing with the Ghost Rider. They headed to the criminal nation of Madripoor, where they murdered countless more vampires, with exploding rats, sharpened blades, dragon-like canine beasts, and wooden stakes from modern-day weaponry. Ghost Rider himself may have murdered a crowd of children. How can a man like him still be an Avenger? We'll keep you updated on all Avengers news. The one man who could potentially create any calm with all of this vampiric violence is currently locked up in a Russian penitentiary. Count Dracula himself is incarcerated and has no signs of release, even after Russia's superhero team, the Winter Guard, stopped a potential prison outbreak. Madripoor also saw the rage of ex-SHIELD/KGB agent Black Widow. She killed several men associated with a sex trafficking dark website, No Restraints Play, in a very public manner. She drove their bodies on a car into the middle of a street demanding justice for the abused women on the website. A new prince is set to control the government in Madripoor, and one hopes he can gain some modicum of control over his lawless country. Speaking of heroes stopping criminal, heinous organizations, the black-suited Spider-Man, with help from Captain America and the Rhino, was reported that they stopped a child trafficking ring a few weeks back. The villain, the Snatcher, has the ability to control others, easily swaying children to follow him. He is now thankfully off the streets. Thank you, Spider-Man. Young hero Nadia Van Dyne, the Wasp, apparently had a bipolar mental breakdown last week. After finding several of her colleagues at Genius in Action Research Labs, or GIRL for short, she escaped into the microverse and nearly never returned. Van Dyne was rescued by fellow girl scientist Priya. She is seeking treatment to help with her condition. Our thoughts and prayers are with her. Sometimes villain Eddie Brock was spotted on the streets of San Francisco coughing up blood. He was rushed away by a teenage boy and a helmeted, alien-like man. Speculations have been around for years that long-term exposure to the Venom symbiote may cause the development of cancer in the body. Personally, we're thankful Eddie is off the streets and hope the boy seen with him can return home to his father. Bad news on the Gamma-related front. The Gamma-powered super genius, the Leader, has escaped S.H.I.E.L.D. custody. Days after his escape, the Hulk was seen battling the terrifying Hulkverine in the Ohio Valley. The Hulkverine is a Gamma-powered Hulk with Wolverine claws that some call Weapon H. In galactic news, Thanos was famously killed months ago. Unfortunately, in a recently read Will and Testament of Thanos, he claimed to have used a cosmic device to insert his consciousness into the body of another living soul. The currently leading suspect is Thanos' adopted daughter, Gamora. Guardians of the Galaxy leader Star-Lord has reportedly put together a new team consisting of Groot, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Beta Ray Bill, Moondragon, and Phyla-Vell. They seek to find Thanos and potentially retrieve his body from his Black Order and the Norse goddess of death, Hela. Speaking of which, the Black Order was recently involved in a rebellion in the Cenarian Empire. The Cenarians use a Galactus cosmic weapon called Gabriel's Bow, which enriches all the minerals on the planet and subjugates the targeted planet's inhabitants to serve the bow's owner, who in this case would be the Emperor Adakan. It looks as though a Nova Corps member was on a planet targeted by Gabriel's Bow, because a Nova was fighting the Black Order on Emperor Adakan's command. Several rebellion members were killed in the bout, almost including rebellion leader Krannig, who was captured. He is expected to be executed on the Emperor's birthday. Now it's time for your New York City updates. Spider-Man was seen being pulled out of an old church and was bleeding profusely. A remarkably strong elderly woman that has been identified as the Rumor was carrying the arachnid hero. The same sources who informed us about the Rumor also told us of an old city beneath New York City called Under York, a city that had free exchange of ideas with NYC during the early 20th century. Stories go as far to say that the inspiration for the Empire State Building came from a design in Under York. The stories people come up with. Private investigator Jessica Jones was seen palling around with a new sometimes villain this past week. You may remember when Jones was spotted with literally heartless Deadpool on Valentine's Day. Well, this time she was seen with mutant telepath, Diamond Witch, Black Queen, Emma Frost. Jones has reportedly been investigating deaths that may have been associated with the Purple Man, who some have claimed sired the daughter that she is currently raising with Luke Cage. Finally, an update on the fiery demonic invasion of New York City by the Falteens last month. We have corroborated the evidence to tell you a faithful playback of the events. Doctor Strange's assistant Wong grew 30 feet tall to knock out one demon. A tan alien woman shot another demon with a magically propelled rocket. And a blast of pure energy originating from the Sanctum Sanctorum knocked out one demon, cold. When all was said and done, Doctor Strange must have cast one final spell as the Falteens' bodies floated into an interdimensional tear in the sky. That's all the news you may have missed this week. For MDN, I'm Tiberius Kimball, where information is power, and it's our responsibility to share it with you. Thank you. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Awesome stuff yesterday at the Oscars. Black Panther won a ton of stuff. It was cool to see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse win Best Animated Picture. Seriously, go check that out if you haven't yet. It's one of the best superhero movies I've seen in my life. Thanks for always tuning in, the few of you checking this out. Share this video if you think other people might appreciate it within your circles. I'm always saying this out on Twitter, maybe other social media platforms in the future. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you like what I'm putting out, share as always. We're coming down to the line. We're getting closer and closer to War of the Realms. We have No Road Home in the meantime to keep us occupied. Until then, we're just going to have a lot of cool stuff, and it's a really exciting time to be a Marvel Comics fan right now. I'm happy I came up with this. It's kind of enriched my experience with comics. So if you want to have a more enriched experience with comics, I suggest going to your local comic book shop, which I provided a link in my description below on where to find one. So go check that out if you haven't yet. Thanks again, guys. Until next time, I'm Tiberius Kimball.